Okay, day 325 off the grid, and I'm looking here at basically last year's garden irrigation system, or a main part of it anyway. Here's the black polyethylene thin wall pipe that brings the water from the tap on the house. In years gone by we used to use this bit of steam pipe here, which had a few bits and pieces attached to it at the other end, but that went last year. It's still there, but we use this year. And this junction point here, this goes off to hose that feeds those two sprinklers. You can see they're actually pop-up sprinklers, which is completely pointless in the way they're being used, but they work well. The smaller ones are 3/4 pattern and the higher ones are a 1/4 pattern. So we're going to set up quite a few of these and be able to control the quadrants of the garden that get water. We need a bit more plumbing for this. So what I've got here is, oh, this is where you can set the the pressure on the sprinkler, so that at the house you could just turn it on and off, max or zero, and it got the right distance on the sprinklers. And this was supposed to be a watering fill hose that I made of bits of crap, old bit of washing machine hose, a bit of solar garden light pipes, and a bit of crappy thick wall polyethylene that I found lying around here in Shannon. This was never really used much by Baffy to fill her watering can, because it's just, look where we are, here's the old blooming Nissan, and we're tucked right away in here, and here's some of the pipes I may use for the windmill. There's a caravan over there, so we're stuck right in the thick of it, just not a convenient place. So this year the watering system's going to be more advanced, so basically I'm just filming this now because I'm going to pull all this apart. She's all going to be gone. And this is the hose that I've just bought today, which is going to connect basically to here and take the water to where the new spigot and manifold is going to be. So I might film that. I guess today is the day of plumbing. I really dig garden plumbing. I have ever since I was a kid. It's something I've had, one of my sort of allied but different hobbies. The great thing about garden plumbing is that there's no codes to follow. There's no, this and that, and if it leaks, it's too fucking bad. It's just going to go on the ground. So it's a lot of fun, I think. We'll see what we can do with it. So there we go. I better get to it. Oh, here's a quick little handy tip. This is just a hose mender or just a joiner that I'm going to use. Here's the proper way to cut a cable tie. The proper way to cut a cable tie. We'll see, look. That piece there is where it joins the ratchet. Don't cut that. You cut right on this side. And this is really difficult to do one-handed while I'm holding this camera. If you cut right there, okay, there we go. Cut right there. Oh, that piece comes out, and all we've got to do now pull this out, and voila, we have a reusable cable tie of quite a decent length. If we cut it there, it would have all been ready for the bin. Okay, and here's the completed spigot set up now with the manifold attached to it. All done now. So basically we've got this feed hose here, which is a new bit of hose I bought this morning, fed up to this old tap wing that used to be in our laundry until I hacked through the pipe with a saber saw when we first moved into the house, and been looking for a way of reusing it because I obviously put a new one in the laundry. This tap used to be on our garage, our car shed, but there's no car in there, it's only full of junk and on Baffy's treadmill. And it finished its role there when one day while we were doing some jib stopping, before we actually moved into the house, we owned it, but we weren't actually moved in, and I suggested Poppy should hang around a bit longer and help us get stuff done, and he kind of wasn't too happy with that, and he turned off this tap rather roughly while he was washing his brushes, or his jib stopping shit out, you know, and it severed the old rusty galvanised pipe that used to feed this tap, so we ended up removing that whole section of pipe, and we've never put it back because the main pipe that fed that has now been disconnected when the new water main was put in Shannon a few months ago. So that's the tap, okay, life history of all these different pieces. This I bought at the warehouse, New Zealand's equivalent of Walmart, this morning, along with the hose. Apparently there's a Red Friday sale on tomorrow, which will be Friday, which I guess is like the Yanks Black Friday thing. Yeah, everything comes over here eventually, yeah. Good thing I'll be nowhere near there tomorrow. So, there we have it, and now this is mounted on a post at the entrance to the garden. See, there's the spigot, there's the garden, there's the greenhouse. And we can merely just turn of a key. Oh look, a sprinkler. Turn of another key. Oh look, other sprinkler. And individually controllable, although I may end up putting these on groups. Yeah, pretty cool. Sprinklers. Pop-up sprinklers, yeah. And this little extra hose here. Just a bare end, just crank her on. There you go. H2O. That's the watering can filling hose, and you know, it's just your basic tap thing, but yeah. It's really just an extension tap on the main house tap, but it's got to make things even better this year for watering, because it does get pretty dry around here once the heat comes on, and I think we're going to have a hot summer. Well, I might as well show a bit of the garden. Oh yes, this is what Baffy was doing today. She's cleaned out this area here. I used to have potatoes here. She's planted these cucumbers, which she hopes will grow up this trellis here. Our silver beet patch, look, this self-seeded from the plant that used to be growing there. So that's really well. A few more over there. One there. Yeah. This is puha. This is well, it's not a native weed. It's the Scotch call it sow thistle. Sow thistle, which I guess we should be calling it. It's pretty much bolted now, but you can eat this. It's got a little bit of bitterness to it, but you get used to that. It becomes quite a delicacy in a sense, and well, an acquired taste at least, and it's a good green, really. So that's why we let them go. But like I say, these ones are bolted now, so they're pretty much done. Oh, here's a younger one. Here we go. These ones have got the spiky leaves. You want the ones with the round leaves, ideally. They're a bit less bitter, but the bitters don't really worry us. This here is apparently zucchini. We did really well with our zucchini plant, our single zucchini plant last year. That this year, Baffy's decided to do 3 of them. So there's 2 more over here. And these are, she's grown these from seeds. She's getting really good at raising seeds, which is awesome because I don't have too much luck with seeds. This is the radishes. And we've got some pretty good radishes coming through. These are basically ready to pick. Some of them are starting to split, which means they are ready to come out. We've got a few French breakfast ones there, and yeah, we've done pretty well with the radishes, I think, and we're going to plant some more. They're a really good food if you just want to, you know, they don't take much effort to garden. Throw some compost and fertiliser in, and up they come. In a good growing season, they're ready in a month. So, you know, kind of, that's my kind of gardening, you know, it's fucking dirty. Corn, corns are doing alright, but you don't get much yield off corn. It's hardly worth it on a small scale like this. So what we do is we plant beans, and here's a bean here that's just come up. Pushed its seed pod up through the soil, and I've got these around each corn plant, and the idea is that the beans will grow up around the corn plant and use it as their stalks, and you actually find you probably get more food off the beans than you do off the corn. So basically it makes the corn kind of like the poles for the beans. Apparently it's an old American Indian trick. Lettuce, these lettuce are actually essentially wild lettuce from, we had lettuce growing here last year and we let them go to seed when they were finished, and although we've turned over all the soil, there are obviously some seeds in there and they've come through, so we're not going to pull them out. And they are actually some really nice lettuces, actually, nicer than the ones that we grew from, from seedlings last year. And of course potatoes, all these potatoes are random wild potatoes, same thing, leave them here. They'll probably stay in the ground until I actually dig over the soil again, and then you find, oh, bonus potatoes, feed of potatoes tonight. I haven't actually planted any potatoes this year, yet, so officially, Rhubarb, yeah, that's sort of divided in two now. That was one plant, so it's kind of coming along. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the garden. Kale that we planted from we grew this from a stub of a kale that we bought, and it's been growing here for over a year now, and it's totally bolted, so Baffy's going to collect these seeds and try and grow some from the seeds, and we'll probably then pull these out, because some plants, once they bolt, they just don't become that plant like what you expect it to be ever again, like this here. This is another one. This is actually a cabbage. Doesn't really look much like a cabbage. It's been growing for a couple of years. These plants keep growing and growing, which is amazing. You think they last a year, they don't. They keep going. But so in that first year where they're actually the vegetable you recognise, after that they just kind of do their thing to make seeds. Like, and these seed pods here are just about getting ready to dry out too. So yeah, we can grow cabbages from those, and I think that's the real guts of the gardening, If you really want to do it economically, well, the seeds aren't that dear, but it's nice to know that you can keep your garden going from harvesting your own seeds, isn't it? Harvesting your own seeds. Oh, Monsanto wouldn't like that, would they? That's kind of the idea, isn't it? So yeah, that's the garden, and that's on day 325 off the grid. And I mean, this is a very important part of off the grid. I mean, we've done the power thing. We've pretty much, well, I don't know, that victory's been won now. Well, no, it's still an ongoing thing. We'd like a little bit more electricity, particularly in the winter, so we don't have to run the generator as much. At the moment, well, it's nearly the end of November, and we've only ran the generator twice this month, and both of those times have been exclusively for gay lawning, running my beastie electric lawnmower, petrol to electric lawnmower conversion, which I should make a video about one day. Although I do have an inverter that is capable of running it, sometimes I stall the mower and I just really don't want to blow up half a dozen MOSFETs, in an inverter, and have to replace them or trash the inverter. Whereas the generator can tolerate that a bit better, so I just run it off the generator. It only uses about 0.3 units while I do lawn, and stuff all petrol. So really, I mean, in these seasons when we're not using the generator for charging the batteries, then using it for doing lawns is really like a health run, so it's fine. Although I do have an old Enviromower I picked up quite cheap. They're the ones that are supposed to run off little onboard SLA batteries, but I'm going to convert it to run off a cable and plug it directly into one of my 24-volt battery banks and, use it like a corded electric mower. I have no problems with cords because I've always used electric mowers, and I've just got used to handling the cord, and it doesn't worry me. So I don't ever really think, I really need to get rid of this cord. No, it's never an issue for me. So there you go. Yeah, the greenhouse, of course, is there. It is staying up, and Baffy's making good use of it. So I'm glad we put that back together. I really am. I kind of like that little space, even though I really don't go into it and have anything much to do with it. I just think it's cool that it's there. It's neat. See how that material handles the summer sun, though. I'm a bit sceptical of that. It certainly can handle the wind now that it's in this position, but we had some mean winds a few days ago. But yeah, there's this area here to tidy up. We had pumpkins down the back there, but they didn't do so well. This area under here is not much use for anything because it's this conifer here, just probably stuffs the ground up, shadows it for sure, but changes the soil chemistry and makes other plants not do so well, or it sucks out all the nutrients out of the ground. All trees are capable of doing that, so you can't grow too much around the base of a tree. But these trees, yeah, it's an evergreen, so it just keeps going and going and going all winter, all summer, you know. More random potatoes there. So, I think, oh yeah, man, it's for every video I make now turns into a long-winded ranty one, doesn't it? I don't know. I should stop doing that. Use heaps of bandwidth to upload the buggers, that's for sure. But hey, there we go. And we will stop it about